Welcome, everyone. How are you doing tonight? It is Monday, and I get it. Y'all might have thought I was going to stream Thursday, but no, not when Notre Dame was taking on Penn State. Had to root for my Irish. Had to be there for them. It was a good game. It was up and down. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't have high hopes. I didn't have high hopes watching it, but we hung in there, overcame, and now we got to deal with Ohio State, which is, as everybody knows, and is well understood, the worst college in NCAA sports. And I don't even care what sport it is. But really, the only one that matters is football. My Michigan friends, I know, will agree with me. But how's everybody doing tonight? We're going to start off this week right and hopefully get back that momentum I had going into the Christmas break, which we've been I've kind of lost a little bit, even though I've been streaming a little bit more. I think that long break that I needed to take kind of messed up YouTube guiding people in here. But no matter what, doesn't matter the algorithm, doesn't matter the view count, we're still doing this show. Still doing this show. I got to comment on that after I do the intro. And the intro is this. Welcome to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them, one that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life, 42 years, non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, doing it, trying to do it better each and every day. And some days I'll succeed, other days not so much. But no matter what, if you are listening, if you're catching this stream, if you're listening to my voice, you can count on getting my honest takes on whatever it is that we're talking about. So if you're somebody who is new to Christianity, somebody who is interested in learning more, somebody who may be on the verge of committing, or on the verge of taking that next step and going into a church, maybe having a conversation heart to heart with a pastor or something, but you're holding yourself back because you're apprehensive, self-conscious, nervous. We get it, right? We want to push you forward, right? We want to get you there, but understand that it's a big step, and some people can go in without any hesitation, but for others, it's not so easy. Faith's a big thing, and it's scary, and you're putting a lot of trust into your belief. So if you want motivation, if you want somebody to tell you, no, you're not making a mistake, you're doing the right thing, you're making the greatest decision that you'll ever make, then look, you'll get that right here. And you don't have to listen to the rest of the show, though I want you to. I want you to tune in and see what this is all about. But if you've only got time for the few minutes that you've been waiting patiently, you're doing the right thing. If you're honestly, diligently, obediently, faithfully pursuing Christ, then you're on the right track, and you need to keep that course. Or if that's where you're trying to get to, keep trying. Keep making that effort. You're not wrong. You're not going to be disappointed. You might be disappointed in people. God's not going to let you down. Okay? That's what you need to hear. Great. And I believe in you, and I'm rooting for you, and I'm praying for you. And so is So should all of Christendom, and so the people in this chat. We're all rooting for you. Because just that one decision, just one more soul, is a great victory for all of us. We want to see you in heaven. We want to see you basking in God's glory. We want to see you take the keys to that place he's building for you and preparing for you. And if it starts here, then it starts here. Though I will say, don't stay here. Well, hang around, but don't just stay here. Move on. This is just a stepping stone, if anything. But we're glad to have you. And I hope that you get something out of this. If you're already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and conversations, welcome as well. We're run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. We're all about small group. Small group has been it's been extra small in 2025. But I mean, that's what we focused on. This isn't a huge stream. This isn't one big thing where you got to pay money to get somebody to read it. It's never going to be like that. My son, in fact, asked me this yesterday or the day before. He goes, do you have super chats? I go, no. And I'm not going to have super chats. I don't want people to have to pay to talk on this show. I don't want people to ever have to pay to be a part of it or feel like they need to be a bigger part of it. That's not what this faith is all about. I'm not gatekeeping with a paywall. But it's small. And we like to hear from how everybody's doing. Obviously, you're going to hear from me on how I'm doing because I've got the mic. And y'all aren't exactly a captive audience because you can close out this window whenever. But I want to hear from you guys as well. And I love it when the regular crowd tunes in and they drop those hey, how's it going? Hey, pray for me. Hey, I got something big that's going on. I got something that's bothering me. I got a big something I'm proud of, etc. We want to hear me in the chat want to hear from each other. We want you to be part of that. And that's regardless of whether you are an established Christian or you're just at the beginning. We're just trying to get information. Doesn't matter. If you put something in that chat box, best believe I want to read it and respond to it. This show isn't about me. It's about God, and we want to hear from you. Not just my takes, but your takes. You make this show better. So make it better. Tell me what you agree with or disagree with. Where do you think I'm right? Where do you think I'm wrong? What unique insight, perspective, or experience do you have that maybe we haven't considered yet? Maybe you want to add on to something somebody else said. Share your opinion. Ask questions. I may not have the answer to your question, but we can definitely talk about it. And hopefully point you in the right direction. So, with that said, how was everybody's weekend? Anybody else get snow around here? I'm sorry, anybody else get snow around your place? We got a little bit extra snow, but Friday night into a little way early morning, Saturday, roads are clear. Kids are back in school on a delay. People got water again. That's great. It's awesome. Matt Felty said, pray for my father and family. He's in recovery at home now from a surgical procedure after ER visit. Hey, definitely, Matt. And wasn't that long. I had a family member doing the same thing. And I think I shared that with you guys, but definitely know where you're at and that, you hope that recovery is, pain-free as possible. And they're back into their normal routine ASAP. that said weird Packer fans who try to get Eagles fans fired. So I saw that tweet that you made that in response to the video, right? Look, I'm sure Packer fans have their fan base just like everybody's got their obnoxious fan base. We were just talking about Ohio State. West Virginia Mountaineers are absolutely out of control. Raiders fans, Dodgers and Giants playing each other is a problem. But there is nothing that comes close. Well, maybe comes close. But there is nothing like the madness that exists in Philadelphia with some of their fans. We're talking about the fan base that booed Santa Claus. That was the Flyers. We're talking about a fan base where a man intentionally made himself barf on two teenage girls because their dad had turned around to ask him to stop screaming profanities in their ear. We're talking about a fan base that would throw batteries. That was the Phillies, by the way. We're talking about a fan base that will throw batteries batteries at players on the field, and that would be the Eagles. Philadelphia is an entire culture centered around angry angry sports. And this is not me trying to typecast every Eagles fan and every Phillies fan and every hockey fan or Flyers fan. But they've got that faction in them, and it's out of control. Least in West Virginia, they take it home with them. They take out their furniture. They set it on fire. Great. But look, I got family up in Philadelphia. I got people up there that are earnest, good, as just great fans. They're passionate about their sport, but they're not that kind of fan that goes looking for trouble. They want to go and they want to cheer hard for their team, and they hate the Cowboys and they hate they hate um the Devils and they hate the Braves. They can't stand them, but they are civil at the field. And they might talk smack, but that's so it's not everybody in Philly, but there is that element there to the point where I love eating the food there. I'll tell you, it's the best city I've ever been to eat. And I got people I care about up there. But I have not gone to a sporting event in the over 10 years I've had family there. Not doing it. I will go other places. It is insane. Anyway, so all I have to say is pray for Philadelphia. Pray for sport, for fan bases in general. We all need it. We all get into our own head sometimes, but sometimes we take sports too seriously. I was telling my wife, I was like, I was screaming at the TV when Notre Dame lost to NIU. It was such a stupid game. So entirely frustrating to see that meltdown. But I behaved like an ass. I should know better. I'm 41 years old at the time. But we care. We care. We get passionate, but need that tempered. It's beneath us. We can do better. Think Jesus be out there acting like that? Nope. All right. So, just and just early announcement. I've been working with getting a Catholic guy on Instagram to come onto the show and discuss Catholicism from his perspective. I think I've been seeing several of his reels. He's one of the very few people on Instagram who can talk about faith in a non-obnoxious way. He's not here to put other people down or the other faith down. He's talking about, look, this is what we believe. And that and to him stands on what it needs to. And so it's always interesting trying to reach out to somebody cold and say, hey, I've seen your content. I'd love to have you on my show because there's so many debate shows out there. You don't want to get somebody on there who wants to debate, and you don't want to scare somebody away who thinks that it's gonna be a debate, or maybe not scare somebody away, so shy away from it because I don't want to debate anybody. That's not what the point of this show. It's not about debating people. They usually make the show worse, and these debate shows usually end up just terrible. It's not the best. It's not the best. And in fact, I saw that there's been a little bit of back and forth between Orthodoxy and what's been to me, in my opinion, it's been a lot of noise from the online Orthodox community. Talking, oh yeah, he goes, you got to debate us. You don't. You goes, you guys are losing relevancy, and I'm like, maybe some churches, sure, but Orthodoxy still is, in its infancy of branching out. And we don't need to debate. If you've got people who want to go to your church, great. Fantastic. But at this point, no. No, it's still very niche, and to be honest with you, why would I care? All right. Dad, Philly fans are the second worst fan base. Packers are the worst. Look, I know you say this because you're up in the Midwest. You're a Bears fan, and I'm sure they tick you off. And I'm not saying that was the best move, but I'm just saying there is nothing. It is its own culture. And look, if you're looking for, and I don't know, I think I've said this on the show before. If you are looking for entertainment, tune in to Philly radio after the Phillies are on a more than 2-game losing streak, or the Eagles lose the game. Tune in that Monday or Tuesday and just listen to the gnashing of teeth. In any other day, in any other in any other city, it would be Armageddon. Well, they're just so depressed. But yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start on 27, verse 11, and we're gonna try to roll through 20 if we can. No, maybe not. Maybe we'll try to get through 22. We'll see how it goes. Matt, we haven't had much indentation since you left. Not much splitting it up, but we're gonna try that. Rooting for Rams or Vikings tonight? I guess the Vikings, but I don't really care. I don't think either of these teams is going all the way. And most of the game's going to be over by the time I tune in. So by the time this game is over or the stream is over. So we'll see. All right. I'm going to go tuck my son in and everybody. So get your Bibles out, get some coffee, get whatever it is that you want to settle in. And we're going to go over, we'll try to get from 11 to through 22 tonight. See how it is. I'll be back in just a few minutes, and if the coven shows up while I'm gone like they did last time, there we go.
The earth belongs unto the Lord, and all that it contains, the world that is inhabited, and all that there remains, for the foundations thereof. He on the seas did lay, and he hath established upon the floods to stay. Who is the man that shall ascend into the hill of God? Who within his holy place shall have a firm abode? Whose hands are clean, whose heart is pure, and unto vanity, who hath not lifted up his soul deceitfully. He from eternal shall receive the blessing in upon righteousness from of the salvation. This is the generation that after inquire, O Jacob, who seek thy face with their lost desire. Lift up your heads on high, ye doors that last forever. Be lifted up, that so the King of glory enter in. But who of glory is the King? The mighty Lord is there. Him that single, that great in might, so strong in battle. And ye gates, lift up your heads, ye doors that do last forever. That so the King of glory enters.
All right, I'm back. Fan of Stafford. Oh, hang on a second. Fan of Stafford? Yeah, uh, Stafford's okay. I don't have a problem with him. Um, I'm kind of rooting for Darnold because like I thought he got a bad rap. He went from the Jets, which is a terrible organization to go if you're a quarterback, to the Panthers, I think, which is not a great place right now to be a quarterback, to the Niners where they actually like what they saw. Now he's here at the Vikings, and finally he's got a system that can support him. He's got good receivers, and it's just like, oh, it's always good to see somebody who has talent finally get a real chance instead of wasting away in some garbage town, kind of as opposed to Caleb Williams, who's not a good quarterback, will never be a good quarterback. anyway, I can say that because Matt, I think one of you guys is the only one tuning in right now. All right. Starting with verse 11. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may reply to him who reproaches, reprimands, and criticizes me. What's the ESV version? I don't know where this one's going with this, but be wise and make my heart glad. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. You want to see your kid succeed. You want to see your kid figure things out, be smart and everything. Use the tools that you've given them, the advice that you've given them, the examples that you've shown them, and you want them to take that and run with it and succeed, right? That I may reply to him who reproaches, reprimands, or criticizes me. Seems like it's going in the opposite direction, like somebody who is not being wise, somebody who's um being foolish, ungrateful, flat out rude, you know, malicious. And I think that's I don't know what the poetic connection there is that he's trying to make. Make my heart glad that I may reply to him who reproaches it. What does him being wise have to do with the other people being foolish and ungrateful? But we know that God will correct those. We know that God does want to see us succeed and do the right thing and be wise and obedient and such. We know all this. So I don't think we need to hover over this one too much. 12. A prudent man sees evil and hides himself and avoids it, but the naive, who are easily misled, continue on and are punished by suffering the consequences of sin. The ESV does a little bit different, just looked a little bit different. The prudent see danger and hide himself. It's not hide themselves or hide himself. But the simple go on and suffer for it. So let's take the two translations for what they say. Prudent man sees evil, hides himself, and avoids it. You see something going on that's not good, stay away from it. You can interpret that as danger, right? You see something that looks like a drug deal maybe going down. You might not hang around that corner or on that street or in that zip code, depending how nervous it makes you. But you're going to stay away, right? That's like, look, that's a bad situation. I don't need to be here. I might get caught up in it. I might be an innocent bystander. We've read, especially recently on Proverbs, it's like, look, bad people and foolish people do things that other folks end up getting caught up in and paying the price for. And that so you should try not to be one of those people. Don't be collateral damage if you can help it. Look out for yourself. See evil, avoid evil. Wouldn't be prudent. Not just Bush one, but my favorite, Matt, is Dana Carvey. I think he said it more than even Bush did. As Dana Carvey as George Bush, obviously. Wouldn't be prudent. But the naive, easily misled, continue on and are punished by suffering the consequences of sin. You see it and you go, yeah, well, I'm just going to walk past there. Nothing bad can happen to me. I'm not involved with it. I'm near it, but because I'm not a part of it, there's no way I'm going to get caught up in it. You got some folks who want to be like, I don't want to be seen. We'd use the drug deal example. I don't want to be seen as somebody who assumes that a crime is going on. I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm just going to do this anyway. And I don't want to be seen as somebody who is offensive, so I'm going to walk past it because I don't want the people I'm worried about to think that I'm othering them. Have your head in the sand, head in the clouds, doesn't matter. Head in the sand, head in the clouds, head in the rear end of whatever political ideology causes you to do that. And you can suffer for it. Avoid it. If you see it, look, if your spidey sense is tingling, listen to it. That might be the Holy Spirit tugging on your shirt, going, "Hey, don't be here. Don't be here." Or pride. I'm not leaving. I'm walking down I'm walking down the sidewalk. I shouldn't have to go cross the street and keep going because they're doing something wrong. No, I'm gonna walk past it. Going back wouldn't be prudent. It wouldn't be. Is it violating your principles? Is it violating godly principles to avoid danger? If there's no gain to it, you're walking past it, you're walking around it. You're not going there to spread the gospel. No. So why not care about yourself? God cared enough about you to give you life. It's worth protecting. It's worth protecting. 13, the judge tells the creditor, take the garment of one who is surety, guarantees a loan, someone who guarantees a loan for a stranger, and hold him in pledge when he is surety for an immoral woman, for it is unlikely the debt will be repaid. This one got away from me then. ESV, take a man's garment when he has put up security for a stranger and hold it in pledge when he puts up security for an adulteress. Speaking out of turn. Maybe taking on responsibility for somebody you don't know. Or somebody you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be taking responsibility for. For the stranger, look, you don't know this person. If you need to get something for them, give them something of yours. If they need money, because they have nothing. Say, Good Samaritan situation, right? Man's beaten and naked. The Samaritan, while everybody else ignored him, walked past him, what did the Samaritan do? He picked him up, cared for him, um, and did that out of his own finances, out of his own cost. He didn't co-sign on a loan for the guy, though. He helped him in his immediate need, and he would have given him his garment if he needed. But he's not trying to um, enter into a financial agreement or speak up for or take responsibility for somebody he doesn't know. The difference is when a person has an immediate need, like a homeless person, and you're like, hey, I want to open my house up to you. So you got a place to stay for the night. It's cold. It's going in. It's dangerous temperatures. Why don't you come home, get yourself a nice warm meal. We'll get you, I'll give you a jacket, some warm clothes, and tomorrow drop you off at one of the shelters or something like that. Right. It's a totally different thing to take that man and say, hey, I'm going to take you to a job interview and I'm going to be a rate reference and I'm going to tell that employer and be like, no, this is a good man. You don't know anything about this man or what he's dealing with or what he's got going on. Strange folk. I love it. Matt Felty said, study Bible notes. It's the same as 2016, chapter 20, verse 16. Foreigners / adulteresses, back to earlier theme of pagans as quote unquote strange folk. Isn't it though? Isn't it though? Look, again, it's people you don't know. Can't speak for them. Help them out, right? You're supposed to help them out. Don't speak for them. Don't put your reputation on the line for them. Because you can't honestly account for that. And it's no different from doing it for a guy who tries to do it for a woman who's running around on everybody. You know you're getting stabbed in the back. There. He who blesses 14, he who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him, for it will either be annoying or his purpose will be suspect. Is this alluding to sarcasm? Not being a morning person? Maybe. Maybe all the, ooh, don't talk to me till I've had my coffee people were right all along. Look, people trying to get ready for the morning, just going, hey, have a good morning. God bless you today. You see them you pass each other on the driveways in the yards next to each other. I don't know how this works. I lived 5 years in a neighborhood and that was it. And none of these neighbors talk to each other. So, I don't know how it is. I grew up in the country. I live on the border of the country. And I'm happy with that. But, we wave to each other. You pass your neighbors on the street, you wave to them. You check in on them and everything, but we don't pass each other in the morning. But yelling in the morning at people trying to just get their morning routine done, even if it's to bless them, it's not gonna be welcome. And they're gonna be thinking you're either obnoxious or doing it to be a jerk. Or maybe just at the least not being sincere. That's an interesting proverb. I don't know if I've ever caught that before when I've read the Bible. Is this one right here? I never stopped so much to see. It's like, bless his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning. Counted as a curse to him. I mean, Joe back there, you like how he yells all the morning? She's worse than the daggone dogs in the rooster. Careful. Someone might take a shot at you. A constant, here we go, the quarrelsome wife, quarrelsome woman, a constant dripping on a day of steady rain, and a contentious, quarrelsome woman are alike. We're a Philly fan. Yeah. Constant dripping on a day of steady rain. The Chinese water torture. We all know. We've all heard the incessant, constant noise that's not white noise like, rainfall. Or for me, what I love is a good thunderstorm or a snowstorm. Oh, love the sound. That white noise, man, that'll get me. No, we're talking about the drip, 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 drip. For me, let me show my age, and I'm sure you guys, Matt and Thad, will understand a CD that skips. You got a scratch CD, you're jamming in your car, and it hits that skip. I have taken CDs out in anger, broken them, and tossed them out the window. Not before I've tried, you wipe them off a little bit. You try to use that cleaner that never ever worked. It's like blowing. It worked. It was less dependable than blowing on your game cartridge on an N6 on your Nintendo game cartridges or into the system. Never worked. The CD cleaner never worked. So into the trash it goes. It's no use to me other than to make me angry. After that, I'm not angry anymore. I'm a little mad at myself because I'm like, man, I got to buy a new one. It's another $12 to $15. Be like, maybe this time when I have it, I won't make it look like a bear was handling it. Bear animal, not bear football player. That. Since we were talking about the study Bible and Philadelphia fans, people being suspect, y'all saw y'all see the clip of the wide receiver AJ Brown was reading a book on the sidelines, and somebody did a zoom in. It's like some sort of self-help book. Wouldn't it have been awesome if it was the Bible? That would have been great. And as much as I can't stand Ohio State, the amount of players who gave thanks to God at the end of that game against Texas was impressive. Impressive. Oh man, no, because I had before I had a rewritable CD deck, I had this big collection of CDs, and then the Jeep. I drove a Jeep in high school. We're about halfway through, Emmanuel. My vehicle in high school that I drove was a 1976 CJ7 Renegade, the 304 V8. And I love being loud and obnoxious with it. Side pipes, that was great. But it was a soft top with soft doors. What do soft doors not have? Locks. Had my whole CD case jacked one day. I came back from school, or at the end of the day at school. This is on the school parking lot. It's the first time I'd ever had somebody actually steal from me. They stole that and my cell phone. It was an Ericsson cell phone at the time. I mean, this is the year 2001. No, I wore just jeans. I wasn't that long ago. I would be when I went to high school was closer to the Jinko jeans era of style. A little bit grungier. That's a lot more skaterish. Um, but yeah, I had to. That's why I didn't. That's in that's when I realized, man, there are people in this world who really don't care about the law. They'll just steal from you. Oh, I should have gotten that one. Should have gotten that one, Matt. Sorry. Dukes of Hazard. Wish I had a picture of it. Lord willing, my son will be able to drive the same Jeep when he goes to high school. Lord willing. It needs a lot of work though, but it needed a lot of work when me and my dad restored it the first time. So, but hey, welcome to the show, Emmanuel. Good seeing you. Glad to have you tuning in. Hopefully you've missed most of the weather, or you've been safe through this weather the past couple weeks. A lot of snow, a lot of rain. All right. So yeah, that just thinking of an annoying, consistent noise that just gets on your nerves. That's just like a contentious, quarrelsome woman. This is King Solomon, guys. This is the man who has been surrounded by wives and concubines. You can imagine when he upsets more than one of them, how bad things are. It's a big palace. It ain't that big. Not for the numbers that Solomon had. Why invite this trouble? Been a bit icy, but good. I'm just glad I'm not in LA. I'm glad you're not in LA either. Solomon is correct. Yeah, Solomon is correct on the back end. He was not correct filling his palace up with wives and concubines. Most like most wise man in history on the planet. In mankind's history, the most wise. Still couldn't figure women out. Still couldn't make a good decision there. Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Alex Moore is here. Hey, look, the crew is getting bigger. Small groups at 4. Glad to see you guys here. All right, 16. Whoever attempts to restrain her criticism. Oh, well, let's read them both together, since apparently they belong together. A constant dripping on a day of steady rain and a contentious, quarrelsome woman are alike. Whoever attempts to restrain her criticism might as well try to stop the wind and grasp oil with his right hand. How many cloaks do you think he gave up for this wisdom to be learned? What does your study Bible say, Matt? We need a historian to give us a to give us a real bearing there. But look, love my wife. And this is a truism in marriage. Many times it is very difficult because there's a lot of feelings involved. And it's not just, especially if you're your spouse, you're not just disagreeing because y'all are on opposite ends. Y'all might believe passionate about it. You might have done something to screw up. She might be getting upset at you over nothing. You've got the disagreement, but then you also got the fact that both y'all should care deeply about each other. And so that ends with it. Just like you got an argument with, it's different. But if you ever gotten a real argument with one of your boys, right? It's passionate, right? Y'all are yelling at each other, whatever. It's that same. There's that same emotion. Now imagine that and switch that with the person who is supposed to be bonded to you in soul. Two souls is one. And it's not another dude where y'all are on the same wavelength. It's a woman where y'all are looking at things, y'all are interpreting things on different from different perspectives. One's more logical, one's more emotional. Doesn't mean that there's actually any actual malice involved, but it's perceived because you can't put your brain in, or you can't make your mind work like the others works. So it doesn't matter what you say, you could be right. Just got to let the chips fall where they may. Let's see what the Woman Bible says. No, we will not. We will not. Viewership up by 400%, right? That's impressive. 400% increase in viewers. 1 to 4. But I mean, what 15 and 60 really allude to is, relationships a hard thing to maintain. It's difficult. It wears on you emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. And sometimes it's because she never cared about you, or her feelings change about you, or you're not living up to what you're supposed to be. Right? There's plenty of dudes out there. I've met them that have been just clowns. They think just being there's the only thing that they need to do. They don't really lead, and their wife doesn't respect them. It's in those cases, it's a testament to her that she's, doing right by her vows and sticking around when guy's not really living up to things. And neither side's going to be perfect in any case. You have to be intentional. You got to be intentional about caring about each other, and both sides need to be committed on that in that aspect. If they're not, you're just hanging on until something gives way. All right, 17. Here we go. Proverbs 17. I'm sorry. Proverbs 20. Stop. Let me do this. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 17. We've heard it so much before. As Arpin, is it Monday? Is it Monday? 21:17 of Proverbs. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens and influences another through discussion. You've heard that before. Maybe you didn't know that was biblical, but it is. It is. And I like, and this is why the difference between debates and discussions. We talk about the debate shows and how I think they're stupid because I don't think, because usually they're just arguing. And the comment section is just, and you see it. I see it on Christian Twitter all the time. It's awful. It's terrible. You see it on Instagram all the time. It's so stupid. The difference between that and two people sitting down, asking each other questions, and just having a person-to-person discussion. Not trying to score points, but they're asking each other questions. They're challenging each other. That's what we need. That's what we need in Christianity. You want to get into the big hot button debates? Let's do that when we've got more of the world in communion with Christ. The internet blood sports is not something that you'll find any good biblical figure emulating. Yeah, exactly, Emmanuel. Going back to the previous proverb, Emmanuel says, true, if there's no 100% effort or commitment, then there's nothing. Yeah, exactly. You either care, if you care enough about this person, and since most of us are men here, if you care enough about this woman that you have decided, this is who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, this is who I want being the mother of my children, this is who I want to grow old with, share my finances with, my dreams, my hopes, my future with. It's not something to just take lightly. It's not something you just do. And it's not just about your feelings for them, right? You can be head over heels for this woman, but you also have to realize, is she going to treat me right? Can I trust her to be the woman that I expect in this relationship? Can I trust her to be around me through sickness and health, till death do us part? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So there's a lot of merit when we see things like Paul saying unequally yoked, and to avoid that. And I didn't. And that was my big L moment on there. Samson and Delilah. Exactly. Or David and some of his wives, or Solomon and some of his wives, and led him astray. We do all learn from these streams. You got to care, and it's got to be. It is a commitment. And the meme where it says like, because everybody jokes about, I'm not a Christmas present. I'm a dog. I'm a 15-year commitment. Blah 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 blah. I can't just you're not. It's not something that's cute for a little while, and then when I get older, you give me away. And they've made the jokes. I'm not a Christmas resident. I'm a tortoise. What's going on, light? Cellulite. God bless. It's a marriage, right? It's not a it's not a 7-year commitment. It's not the it's your life. And sometimes the worst happens. Sometimes the worst happens and you feel and you're and they leave or they're not faithful. Of course, that's part of leaving. Sometimes y'all can't get along, y'all split. Even worse, y'all split and you got kids. I've talked to folks, uh, mostly men, who are in the church and they're like, how do I reconcile the fact that I'm divorced now? It's like, what do you want to do? You want to rehash the past, dude? You can't. It's done. Just like every other sin that you and I have committed. It's in the past. Maybe it was justified, maybe it's not. But no matter what, you can't undo it. So you might as well learn from it and repent if you did the wrong thing, which on all most cases it was somebody or both, in most cases both parties did the wrong thing. And I think that that's a big win that Christian nationalism tries to promote as something that would come with a in a Christian nation would be the abolishing of no fault divorce. It's too easy. It's too easy to get one. Except for the lawyers. You got to it's expensive as all get out from what I understand. Um, and again, even more so when kids are involved. But I mean, look, so yep, all those good times are in your heart, make you submit. It makes a big identity for a lot of men. It's learning on how to recover from them. Yeah. No one wins except the state and the lawyers. Exactly. Ex-wife, ex-husband, neither of them win. Even if one thinks they came out on top and they got one over on the other. They didn't. If you want to look at something. I noticed the other day that they had done Angel Studios has done a movie about Phil and Kay Robertson from Duck Dynasty. The Mama Kay and Phil, the creator of Duck Commander and his life. I mean, he went from being an awful human being to somebody who a lot of the Christian community now look up to. Yeah, yes, it's a very touchy subject. Many churches don't want to talk about it. And a lot of churches don't want to talk about it because they're worried about people walking out. People people don't want to be told they might have done the wrong thing. People don't want to be told that maybe you should have grinned and bear it. And I'm not saying that no divorce is sanctioned. It can be. There there are there are biblical prescriptions for divorce under certain circumstances. Very, very specific circumstances. Yeah, you don't know about his past. Oh, look, I don't know if you know who Terry Bradshaw is. Hall of Fame quarterback for the Steelers, won 4 Super Bowls with them back when they were in college or high school. Can't remember which was. Bradshaw was his backup. But no, Phil and Kay got married. They had kids. Phil was a womanizer and a drunkard and abandoned them. Basically, straight up abandoned his family. And I don't know all the details behind it, but it came to a point where he hit rock bottom, um, got right with God, and came back. And Kay let him, and Kay welcomed back with open arms. Well, I don't know how open the arms were, but she allowed him back, and he's for the most part been on the straight now. Now he recently got diagnosed with ALS or Alzheimer's. I can't remember, one of the two. It's been very recently that was announced. I think in the past like month and a half. So very sad, but you know he is able to. He was able to see that redemption. He was able to live that redemption arc. It happens. It happens. It's not the usual, but it does happen. It happens enough that we should be mindful of that. It happens to us when we overcome our own sins. And as much as we hope that other people would be rooting for us and praying for us that we can fix our screw ups, we should be doing the same for others. All right, getting back to it. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens and influences another through discussion. It is. And look, I'm a Protestant. I've got El Chaco and Raptor, who I talk to all the time. Pray for each other. We have discussions of faith. Raph and I, not so much. We talk all the time, but Raph and I rarely argue. I shouldn't even say argue. It's not even really that, but discuss, because I think that we have a really good basis of where we stand on things, and we both respect each other deeply in our faith. I certainly do to him, and same thing for El Chaco. But I talk to them all the time, and we don't see eye to eye on everything theologically. And the same thing with many others. But we can have these discussions. We can ask questions. And we can be better because of it. When you're listening, when you're talking to somebody who is honestly willing to listen and to consider what the other has to say. Now, that's not to say that you have to listen and consider what anybody has to say to you, because some people have some very silly thoughts on what faith is, or what God commands us, or what scripture is supposed to be. But there are well thought out, respectable, theological positions that sometimes aren't the same, or aren't on the same page as others. And I hear too much pointing fingers and calling people heretics or idolizers or a multitude of other things, schismatics. It's tough. It's tough to see it, but it's very fulfilling when you see it happen earnestly, respectfully. And it doesn't matter if they don't change each other's minds or one guy changes the other person's mind. Did you both leave better? Did you both leave smarter? That's the hope. Emmanuel says, just because we have different perspectives doesn't mean we should share each other's faith down. The more I get older, the more I see that hatred and envy is just going to eat you alive from within. Amen. Really will. I really will. And that was what I'd said this at the beginning of the show. There's a Catholic Instagram dude who is open to coming on to my show. I think he says he's okay with coming on. We just need to iron out the wins and let things calm down as far as like family stuff where we're both in a place where it's easy to do. But one of the reasons I decided to reach out to him is because he doesn't have to tear down another person's belief structure to make his point. This is Catholicism. You've got a question about Catholicism? I've heard a lot of people say this about Catholicism. A lot of people ask me X. This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. This is the reasoning behind it. This is the apologetics behind it, or whatever. He's bringing the reasons, and that's it. Let it stand on that. Let people take that for what it doesn't mean. Well, and the other folks, because you see that a lot. Now use the I'll use Catholicism because a lot of times they're very and it's not just them. Orthodox will do it too. They'll be like, Protestants believe X. No, Protestants is a very wide array of different types of beliefs. A Lutheran doesn't believe the same as a Presbyterian, who doesn't believe the same as a Baptist, who doesn't, well, that's a meme, doesn't believe the same things as an Anglican, but there are certain things they do have in common. But a lot of times they go, oh, look at what the Protestants are doing. I'm like, that has nothing to do with me. While at the same time, you see people in the other denominations have their own bad actors. And that's what I can't get behind. That's what I can't get behind. If 40K isn't real, guys, calm down. You don't know that. You're not hearing 40,000. As much as I like Black Templars, that's not the way to do it. Oh, my buddy got me a Black Templar shirt for Christmas. It's great. It's great. All right. But it is worthwhile to discuss things with men that you respect, that you can exchange wisdom and trade perspectives and be better behind it. Iron sharpens iron. He who tends the fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who faithfully protects and cares for his master will be honored. There you go. Being a good caretaker, being a good steward, being a good, just taking care of the faith, taking care of your family, whatever it is, taking care of what God commands you to do, what God expects of us to do, we'll be rewarded for it. We'll be honored for it. We protect what is dear. We provide for what needs. We love what is sacred. Matt felt the key point to keep in mind is it's sharpen, not cut down or reshape. Exactly. Exactly. Like everybody's so now that everybody's had the Wes Huff on Rogan, um, the cheering section has died down because we were all happy to see what he went out and did. Now you got the 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 curmudgeons coming out of the woodwork. Oh yeah, what if he did it? I saw this one by some jackwagon on there. What if he was get a Q&A session in front of these guys? He wouldn't last 30 seconds. All right. That's dumb to think that from the first part, from the beginning. But two, why do you care? Why do you care so much? Are you mad? You mad you didn't get an invite? You mad you don't have the influence? You mad, bro? West did a great thing. Mel Gibson followed it up with his normal self. But why be angry at that? The very key is it wasn't exactly like he thinks it should have been done. So said it wasn't perfect in his mind. He needs to go after it. That's a pride issue. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at, Emmanuel. As in water, face. Wait. Oh, as in water, face reflects face. So the heart of man reflects man. Oftentimes. I think this goes down to this is the same thing as the fruits. You will know them by their fruits, right? What is in your heart will be, excuse me, what is in your heart will be revealed over time. People will see what kind of man you are by how you treat other people, how you provide, how you care, how you honor God. Heart of a man reflects who you are, which also means you're a filthy sinner and you need to repent because the heart is deceitful above all things. The most deceitful of all things. I can't remember exactly. When we get to it, when we get to that verse, we'll cover it. Building the community around you is hard. Oh yeah, I can tell you that. I mean, well, it's hard to be intentional about it. It requires work. It's, you've seen me, and I've been doing this since the end of 2021. So over 3 years now, we've been at it doing this. I've got this is episode 360 of reading through the Bible. That's a lot of evenings. I don't chase the algorithm. I don't try to be overly bombastic to get people's attention. And I think that that's something that me no, I won't say that because I felt like I would. It always rings kind of true. You can tell when somebody's banging the drum because they want attention or because they want to be sent. Look at him. He's got the hottest take on whatever the hot topic is. And you can see that. And you want to get the sound bites in. You want to get the clips out there. That's not me. You're not going to see that on this show. You're going to hear me go on rants. I go on them from time to time. But I'm not trying to. I'm not just trying to get attention just for attention's sake. just to get more people in the viewers. I hope to hopefully get people to stumble upon this channel and get a lot out of it. And that'll be awesome. Let God guide them here, not YouTube's algorithm. Well, I can chase it. It might really help build an audience, yeah. But how am I going to feel? I'm going to feel kind of like a sellout for doing it. Did I give a hotter take than I actually believed in? Did I misrepresent myself to you guys? I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have to do it, but that's just the way that we are as people. We're attracted to the the hot take. But I feel like I'm a bad liar. It's hard for me to even mask my emotions when I'm talking to somebody if I don't like what they're saying. It's hard for me to do that. And again, that's we who was on here the other night? I think it was Mordred was on here asking about being a pastor and how do you know if you can be or not? That's another reason I can't. I can't put on a blank face when somebody's telling me something where I'm trying to listen to them pour their heart out so that I can advise them, counsel them, encourage them to, do whatever needs to be done, give them advice. And if they're saying something that I think is awful, they might see on my face that I'm not the person that is going to listen to them well, or they might get the wrong impression through that. Because even though I don't like something, even though I think something is horrible, doesn't mean that I don't want them to get better, or that you could see where I would be not a good fit for that. That a better man than me would be able to handle that. So, yeah, that's what I meant. Oh, it's what you meant, selling out the integrity. Yeah, because eventually, people figure that out. I think, or they just leave because you're not what they thought you were, or they leave because they found out you aren't who they thought you were. On both sides of that. All right, close out with 20. Sheol, the place of the dead, and Abaddon, the underworld, are never satisfied, nor the eyes of man ever satisfied. Satan is not going to be, he is never going to be satisfied with the amount of sin you commit, and neither are you. It doesn't matter. If you are indulging in sin, it's never going to be enough for you. It's never going to be enough pornography. It's never going to be enough alcohol. It's never going to be enough anger. It's never going to be enough disrespect. It's never going to be enough hate. It's never going to be enough. You always keep going back to it. And just like we said in the last chapter of Proverbs, like a dog returns to his vomit, we are going to return to that stuff. It's never going to be enough for Satan. It's never going to be enough for you until you determine to stop indulging your senses. Oh, you're so right. Oh, I hate Erebus so much. Hate Erebus so much. I'm in the middle of hang on. Which one am I in the middle of? Shadows of Treachery. And I'm in the Night Lords story right there. It's just like you listen to some of these, it's like, man, everybody, even the Chaos Legions kind of hated Erebus. Everybody hated Erebus. Everybody hated Erebus. Everybody, and you'll hate Satan too, because you'll be resentful because he's got control over you, that he's separating you from God because you're letting him even if you don't mean to. Because what? Because you're going to give in to what your eyes desire. You're going to give in to what your taste desires. You're going to give in to what you want to hear, to what you want to feel, what you want to smell. It's never going to be enough dope. Never going to be enough poo posting. Never going to be enough memes, folks. There's never going to be enough memes. Better just delete that meme stash. Be vigilant, brothers and sisters, because it's out there. All right, Emmanuel, Matt Felty, Alex Moore, Cellulite, Thad the Man. I think that's the crew. Thank you all for being on the show, even if it's just to say hi, or like Cellulite, just a God, and say, hey, how's it going, and a God bless. Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts, your opinions. Thank you guys for tuning in and being part of this show. Y'all make this show better. I love that I see you. I love being able to read what you guys have to say. To everybody who is watching, thank you. I'd love for you to join the chat, but I understand you might not want to, or you might not be able to. Think Emmanuel is able to share his opinion every night when he's on the road? Nope. You better not be. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. I've never even heard of Cellulite, but yeah, maybe I'll have to check him out. No, I understand. I'm just glad that you guys are tuning in and finding something to keep bringing y'all back. To everybody who is catching this on replay, thank you for watching, number one. But also, sorry I missed you. I hope to catch you live sometime soon. Everybody, have a good night, and God bless.